What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for MLB Monday, August 8th. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's MLB slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, we have a 7-game slate tonight, so let's take a look at the pitcher position. So a stud on the slate that I like is Blake Snell. He's pitching against the low salary batting team, the San Francisco Giants. Blake Snell only giving up a .527 OPS versus lefties, facing 5 lefties, and the Giants have only hit 7 of his last 40 pitches. That's a 175 batting average. So Blake Snell is $9,400 FanDuel salary, $600 less on DraftKings, averaging 30 fantasy points per game on the season, and he's been on fire, scoring 52, 46, and 36 fantasy points in the last 3 games. He has an ERA of 4.16. Record is 4-5, pitching an average of 90 pitches per game. So I like Blake Snell here versus the San Francisco Giants. Now a lower salary pitcher that I like is Keegan Thompson. He's pitching against the low salary batting team, the Washington Nationals. Keegan Thompson pitching his best ball versus righty batters, giving up a .706 OPS versus righties. He's facing 5 righties, and the Nationals have hit 1 of his first 6 pitches. Small sample size, it's a good start, but can't read too much into that. So Keegan Thompson, $8,000 FanDuel salary, $1,300 less on DraftKings, averaging 22 fantasy points per game on the season. He has an ERA of 3.48. Record is 8-5. Now he's only pitching an average of 68 pitches per game. So sometimes he gets pulled at the last 3 games. He pitched 5, 7, and 4 innings. So the games that he pitched 5 and 4 innings did really bad. But the game that he pitched 7 innings scored 52 fantasy points. So this is clearly a high risk, high reward pitcher play here. But if you want to roll the dice, I like Keegan Thompson here versus the Washington Nationals. Okay, let's take a look at the catcher first base position. I like Dalton Varsho with a 45% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Tyler Beede. Dalton Varsho batting 13% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .781 OPS versus righties. Tyler Beede pitching his worst ball versus lefty batters, 32% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .390 OPS versus lefties. No at-bats versus Beede yet. He's $3,300 FanDuel salary, $800 more on DraftKings, averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 15, 19, and 25 fantasy points in the last 3 games. He scored fantasy points in 4 out of his last 5 games. He has a batting average of .244. So I like Dalton Varsho here versus Tyler Beede. Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won. And then we'll send you $25 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you. Okay, at the second base position, I like Brandon Drury. He's got a 40% batting advantage over Alex Wood. Brandon Drury batting 19% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a .920 OPS versus lefties. Alex Wood, he's pitching his worst ball versus righty batters, 21% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .748 OPS versus righties. So I love the splits. Now, something that's a little bit concerning here, just a word of caution, but you don't have to read too much into this. Brandon Drury is 3 for 14 here versus Wood. So that's a 214 batting average, which is not fantastic, but I do love the splits. He's 3,600 FanDuel salary, 2,000 more on DraftKings, averaging 12 fantasy points per game on the season, and he scored fantasy points in 4 out of his last 5 games. He has a batting average of 268, so I like Brandon Drury here versus Alex Wood. So if you're looking to save some money at this position, take a look at Jeff McNeil. He's got a 33% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Justin Dunn. Jeff McNeil batting 9% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .761 OPS versus righties. Justin Dunn, he's pitching 24% worse to lefties as he does righties, giving up a .736 OPS versus lefties. So there's no at-bats for versus Dunn, but I like this pick because Jeff McNeil, only 2,800 FanDuel salary, 1,600 more on DraftKings, averaging 9 fantasy points per game on the season, scored fantasy points in all 5 of his last games, has a batting average of .304. So I like Jeff McNeil here versus Justin Dunn. Okay, at the third base position, a stud that I like is Manny Machado versus Alex Wood. Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. But if you're looking for a value play here, take a look at Lewis Gilmore. He's got a 44% batting advantage over that low salary pitcher, Justin Dunn. Lewis Gilmore batting 20% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .741 OPS versus righties. Justin Dunn, he's pitching 24% worse to lefties as he does righties, giving up a .736 OPS versus lefties. Now, there's no at-bats versus Dunn yet. Lewis Gilmore is only 2,200 FanDuel salary, 300 more on DraftKings. Now, he's only averaging 6 fantasy points per game on the season, but he did score fantasy points in all 4 of his last games. And he's, 4 out of his last 5 games. And he does have a batting average of .278. So I think he makes a pretty interesting value play here. His last 2 games, he got 4 and 5 at-bats. So I like Lewis Gilmore here versus Justin Dunn. Okay, who do we have at the shortstop position? Stud on the slate that I like is Francisco Lindor. He's facing that low salary pitcher, Justin Dunn. Splits are good. Another player that I like here if you want to save some salary is Jorge Mateo, and he's got a 39% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Yusei Kikuchi. Jorge Mateo batting .668 OPS versus lefties. Yusei Kikuchi pitching his worst ball versus righty batters, 38% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .880 OPS versus righties. Jorge Mateo is 2 for 3 here versus Kikuchi with a 1.667 OPS. Only 2,700 FanDuel salary, 800 more on DraftKings, averaging 9 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored fantasy points in 4 out of his last 5 games. He has a batting average of .220. So I like Jorge Mateo here versus Yusei Kikuchi. Okay, moving on to the outfield position. I like Brandon Nimmo here versus Justin Dunn. I also like Lourdes Gurriel Jr. He's got, he's facing Jordan Lyles. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. batting 9% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .816 OPS versus righties. Jordan Lyles is giving up a .795 OPS versus righties. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. is 1 for 4 here versus Lyles. And he's got a .900 OPS because that one hit was a double. He's $2,900 FanDuel salary, $1,100 more on DraftKings. He scored fantasy points in all 5 of his last games, and he's a batting average of .312. So I like Lourdes Gurriel Jr. here versus Jordan Lyles. If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this MLB slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.